You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
Today, the President of the United States was accused of rape.
You know, I mean,
He pulled down my tights. And it was a fight. I want women to know that I did not stand there. I did not freeze. I was not paralyzed, which is a reaction that I could have had because it's so shocking. No, I fought. And it was over very quickly. It was against my will, 100%. And I ran away, out. It was a very short incident, only lasting a few minutes. He definitely penetrated, and I definitely fought.
Carol's friends now confirming she told them that same story soon after it happened.
I've never met this person in my life. Now here is a picture of Donald Trump in one meeting with E. Jean Carroll, and ironically includes the president's first rape accuser, Ivana Trump, as well as his newest rape accuser, E. Jean Carroll.
After the incident at Bergdorf Goodman, Carroll says she told two friends at the time. And New York Magazine verified that. A friend of Carroll's also confirmed to NBC News that Carroll told her about the alleged attack the next day. According to Carroll, one of those friends, quote, said, "He raped you. He raped you. Go to the police. I'll go with you. We'll go together." The other friend said, quote, "Tell no one. Forget it. He has 200 lawyers. He'll bury you."
The woman has alleged the GOP presidential candidate and billionaire perv Jeffrey Epstein assaulted her at a series of sex parties that Epstein threw in 1994.
I met Donald Trump at some parties I attend that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. There was about 3 or 4 times that I had encounters with Donald Trump. I was 13. Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me, but he took a liking to me because I look like his daughter. The reason I'm coming out now is when it happened originally, I just wanted to forget about the whole incident. And when I saw that he was running for president, I felt that it was my responsibility to come out and tell our country what kind of man this person is. Donald Trump had requested that I perform oral sex on him. I performed oral sex on him. And once again, once he was done, he hopped up, and that's the last I saw of him at that party. Donald Trump was very racist. He said a lot of racist things. Like there was a lot of comments towards Mr. Epstein about being Jewish. And called him a Jew bastard, so that he was cheap. Also referred to, people of Hispanic or, Hispanic name, they called them spics. That was around the first time that the World Trade Center had gotten the bombed in the 90s. And he was, talking about the towel heads and how, we would just be better off if we, didn't let him in, or basically got rid of every single one that was already here. And I felt it made me really uncomfortable, really, really uncomfortable. He also loved to call black people and Arabic people he called Sam. He acted out a rape fantasy. I didn't have a blonde wig on, and anytime I put it on, anytime I had it on and he'd see me, he would say, "Oh man, you look," and it wasn't like "Oh, you remind me of my daughter." It was this sick, evil, like, you remind me of my daughter. It was just this weird pleasure, sick smile. We were to report to Mr. Epstein and basically tell him everything that happened, with who, what they liked, what they disliked, if there was any requests, if there was any talk about anything. That's what, we told Mr. Epstein everything. And then he paid us, and then we got to go home. Trump has a chance to be the next president. Makes me feel disgusting inside. I've always been proud to be an American. I think we live in a beautiful country. But I just see him ruining everything. He's a horrible, what he portrays on the outside isn't even that great, but people don't even know the half of how evil, how sick and twisted that man is. And he was, you know, basically like ripping my clothes off, and I was actually I got freaked out. I told him that I didn't want to do this. I screamed over for Tiffany. You know, she was like, Mr. Trump, she's only, you know, this is scaring her. And he's like, oh, you shut up too. He just turned into this animal. It was like a completely different. He ripped off all my clothes, and he started to basically have sex with me, and I was screaming because I'd never had sex before. It was my first time, and Tiffany was yelling at him too. She was saying I was a virgin, and he told us to just shut the fuck up, and just basically took my virginity while I was crying and telling him to stop. And that's basically begging for him to just stop. But he comes over mad because I was crying, and he said that I should be thankful that someone like Donald Trump took my virginity. He basically didn't say took my virginity. He said, I should be glad that someone like Donald Trump popped my cherry and not some pimply little 14-year-old. And I just was like, what if I said, what if I get pregnant? Not even talking to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was talking to Tiffany. And he said, well, you'll get an abortion then, bitch, and then just walked away. I mean, who knows what kind of damage they can get into, but if you have a 13-year-old daughter, and would you be okay with the person who's running our country doing that to your little girl? Thinking about it just makes me sick to my stomach.
Here's what Donald Trump said to New York Magazine about Epstein in 2002. I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He placed me right next to him, and that was the time when he started to go for it and had his hand on my leg, moving forward, and went for it, touching my private parts. Pushing me up against the wall, forcing me to kiss, forcing a kiss on me, and again with his hands all over my body and up again my dress with the hands.
He put me in an embrace, and I tried to push him away. I pushed his chest to put space between us, and I said, come on, man, get real. He repeated my words back to me, get real, as he began thrusting his genitals.
Unbeknownst to me at that time was Donald Trump put their hand up my skirt. He did touch my vagina through my underwear. Absolutely.
Mr. Trump, perhaps you do not remember me or what you did to me so many years ago. But I can assure you that I remember you and what you did to me as though it was yesterday. Your random moment of sexual pleasure came at my expense and affected me greatly.
Ms. Drake also says that Trump offered her $10,000 for sex, allegedly during this 2006 Lake Tahoe event.
And then when I was speaking to Mr. Trump himself on the phone, he asked me, come on up, what do you want, how much? And then the numbers started to come. What was so offensive to me was when I initially met him and was in his hotel room, he grabbed me and kissed me without my consent.
All of a sudden, he was all over me, kissing and groping and kissing. And then when his hand started going up my skirt, I'm not a small person. I managed to wiggle out and stand up, grabbed my purse, and I went to the back of the airplane.
What would you tell Donald Trump today?
You're sick person. And if you don't acknowledge it, then maybe he's just a helpless old man who needs to step down
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
He's saying from his words what he does. How can people not believe me now? How can they not believe me now?